you're being like too stiff or too formal or not, I don't know, then it just kind of gives off like this friend zone scent.
The infamous friend zone. Ladies, I want to ask you this. How does a guy end up in the friend zone? Charlotte, you can go first, whoever.
Yeah. I think, and I'll start first. I hate the phrasing of the term friend, like getting put in the friend zone, because I think like you're an adult, you have your own agency over your life. No one can put you anywhere. All that said, while no one can put you anywhere, they can make a false assumption about what you want because you didn't say directly what your intentions were. So if you go in, acting as though you want friendship, you never indicate otherwise. They might just assume, and then if you reveal that attraction later on, they might say, "Whoa, I thought we were just friends." Or you could end up in this. You can put yourself in this friend zone by you offer an interest in a romantic relationship, and then they counter offer with friendship, and then you say, "Okay, cool, I'll stick around." Offers are offers; those aren't summons or orders. You can walk away from that. So if you stick around, that's kind of like on you. And I think the empowering thing to do is be direct from the start and walk away if you're counter offered with a type of relationship like a platonic friendship when that's not what you're looking for.
Great answer. Be direct on what you want up front. And I guess in your experience, for men who've weren't clear with you, is that what you've seen? They just didn't let their intentions be known?
Yeah, and so I think and as you get older, you kind of can get a vibe for, okay, like this feels a little bit like, this doesn't feel like a friendship. Like I said about like, the male female friendship boundaries, it's like, if I have a bad day and you send flowers to my house or something, my own female friends don't do that. That's weird. So I think you kind of realize the signs as you're older, but when you're younger, you don't know, especially when the guys are like a bit more shy. They don't necessarily know how to communicate that. But yeah, it would be like a big surprise, or it was like, oh, whoa, like, and I felt bad because it was like, if I knew this, I wouldn't, have continued being, friendly with you at this point, at this level.
Coming on too strong. Yeah.
Maybe. Taryn?
I think, well, guys, if you don't want to be put in the friend zone, don't suggest your first date to be a lunch date. I don't know.
Thank you.
It just doesn't go well. I don't know. There's something about a lunch date that just doesn't work.
Well, if you can put your finger on it, what is it about lunch? I mean, I have my thoughts on it, but what is it about lunch in your opinion that kind of puts it in?
And I'm laughing and I'm saying this because this actually happened to me, and the lunch date just seems so casual. Like, it just seems friendly. It seems like you're going like with like you're meeting up for like a business meeting or something. I don't know. It just kind of gives off.
It's more than coffee.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like, I don't know. I just don't. To me, a first date, I hate to say it. I really hate to say this, but it's true. It should be like, I want to get dressed up. I want to look cute. I want to feel pretty. And I want to go have a glass of wine. Or like, I have no interest in getting coffee. I don't want to have coffee on a first date. I don't, personally. There's other things you could do besides drinking alcohol, but there's just something about I don't know. I mean, I'm being funny, but it's also true, I think, from my point of view. But I think that guys, and I hate to say this too, because I think like women have come so far, and I'd like to see myself as like progressive and all of this, like, female empowerment, but I do feel like, for me, I like guys to lead a little bit in the dating aspect. And if they're just not aggressive enough, that's like maybe not the right word to use, but
no, I know what you're saying. I know exactly
enough or direct enough about like what they're, looking for, or being complimentary, or, being like a little fun and flirtatious. If you're being like too stiff or too formal or not, I don't know, then it just kind of gives off like this friend zone scent.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can see. So in other words, if he's not comfortable in his own skin, he's not leading. I've always used the term I take command, but I mean, don't, what's the term? Take charge, but don't take command. Like, of course, let go with the energy of the
Yeah.
woman and whatever chemistry you have, but
Yeah.
be a man, be assertive. I mean, it always worked for me. And I don't feel bad saying that. I know a lot of modern phrases and, social media campaigns say not to be that, but I
Mhm.
think if you come from a genuine place and you have a good heart and you're not looking to be manipulative and to take advantage of somebody, there's
Yeah,
no
no, nobody wants like manipulation and like the
right,
machismo, like aggressive,
right.
like
Mhm.
jerk off. But
Yeah.
it, I think women, we sense when someone's like comfortable in their own skin and confident, or if they're again coming off like they're interested and there is like this attraction. Like, so saying certain things and saying it a certain way, and making suggestions for the first, second, whatever, third date. But if you're just like slow off the jump on that,
Mhm.
just kind of, it's a little bit of a turn off, and then it's like, okay, this is a buddy. And sometimes the connection's just not there. Like, it's not that they're doing anything wrong.
Mhm.
Um, it just kind of falls flat in like the romantic aspect.
Okay. Okay. Charlotte, what are your thoughts on what Taryn said about the coffee date and the
Oh,
lunch?
yeah, I think there's something to be said for having a vibe to your dates that feels sexy. Like I think there's a right way to do coffee dates, there's a right way to do lunch dates, but too much of one thing, it can feel kind of like a business meeting. Like one of the reasons I never like coffee dates, I've done way too many job interviews in a coffee shop. Like
Mhm.
there's something to be said for choosing like the dimly lit, like up and coming cocktail bar with the candles. You're going in the evening when they've got live music or something. Like so
Mhm.
just I think having it like almost like more sexy first dates, like not have sex
Yeah.
on the first date, but a sex like
Mhm.
a sultry, like kind of romantic vibe to it, kind of puts things on that path versus oh, like I get coffee with female friends like all the time and it
Mhm.
doesn't feel too sexy. I was like,
Yeah.
It could even be something like axe throwing. I don't know, like something different, but something with like a vibe, like a fun,
Did you say
you
axe
know,
throwing?
Yeah.
yeah,
Axe throwing.
it's a thing. Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
just something that is a little bit more entertaining and interesting than like, I'm not, if you are wanting me to go to Starbucks to meet you for a first date,
Yeah.
you're so far in the friend zone.
I don't even think we have axes in New York.
um, but I completely agree with you. If you go to a Starbucks at noon or any time during the day, you have a lot of people. There's a lot of interviews, a lot of kids. It's not a sexy atmosphere or an atmosphere you wanted to maybe get to know somebody with. It's more like you want to get the hell out of there. So coffee has never been an option for me. I always preferred for first date, honestly, to drinks.
Mhm.
Let's meet somewhere. Like you said, I love seeing a woman dress up and see, in her best, and I dress up as well. And it's something about evening on Friday, Saturday night. There's more like an adult, sexy type of vibe, and especially if you're like in a dimly lit type of like nice place with great music, it adds atmosphere, like a sexy
Mhm.
atmosphere, and it adds to the vibe. So all those elements are working for you. And I've heard some men say, "Well, dates are expensive. That's why we go with coffee." Well, go for a drink on a first date. What's the most you can spend? $100 maybe on drinks, maybe depending on where you're at. That's not a
You
lot.
shouldn't be dating then.
Well, to them, it's
Can't afford
people.
the drinks.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well, see, everyone's budget's different, right? Maybe they're rebuilding from a divorce, whatever the case is. I don't know, but there's just nothing sexy at all about a noon or lunch,
No.
and then you're leaving and the sun's out. It's just weird. So again, I agree. To set the atmosphere, it has to be at night.
I think too, to Charlotte's point about like, if they're not direct about what they want, or maybe they misstate what they want. Like, so the same guy that I had a lunch date with, he does not have kids. We're actually friends now, but
Uh-huh.
he does not have kids. I hope he's not watching. He might be.
Rule breaker.
um, he doesn't have kids, and on the first lunch date, he says to me, now we can laugh about it, but he said something like, And of course, I have 2 kids. I have 2 boys. And he says, like, I'm super uncomfortable around kids.
Oh, well,
And I was like, okay, A, we're on a fucking lunch date. And B, you're uncomfortable around children. And I have 2. So I'm probably going to put you over here. So I think, and as we started to get to know each other, and now it's been a few years. So I think he just maybe misspoke about his feelings on that. And I think he's come a long way since then. But yeah, if you don't see the world the same way, or you just like,
you're right.
you could have a date with somebody and there's not even like a chance in hell that you want to be friends with that person. They're not interesting. They're not fun. You don't ever want to see them again. But the people that like, they're good people and they're fun and you have a connection, but just you know that you're on 2 different planets, then that's usually a way to get into friend zone.